Nora only bought the mirror because it was on sale. A smart mirror, the listing said. Sleep tracking, weather updates, daily reminders. Nothing special. Just another device trying to be useful. She mounted it in her bedroom, right across from her bed. At night, it looked normal, just a mirror, but in the morning, it felt slightly off. The first time it happened, she ignored it. She stood in front of it, adjusting her hair, still half asleep. And for a split second, her reflection blinked. Before she did, Nora froze, her own eyes still open, but in the mirror, they had already closed and opened. She stared at herself. "No, I'm just tired," she whispered. She blinked quickly. This time, both versions matched, perfectly normal. She exhaled and stepped back, shaking her head. "Yeah, just sleep," she muttered. The mirror stayed still, silent, convincing. She turned away and walked toward the door, and that's when it happened again. Behind her, the reflection didn't follow. Nora stopped mid-step, her body facing away from the mirror, but something told her to look back. Slowly, carefully, she turned her head, and her heart dropped instantly. In the mirror, she was still standing in front of it, facing forward, watching her leave. Nora's breath caught in her throat. She turned fully this time. In real life, she was standing near the bedroom door, but in the mirror, she was still by the bed, facing forward, not moving, just watching. A cold wave ran through her body. "That's not possible," she whispered. The reflection didn't react. It didn't copy her panic. It didn't even blink. It just stood there, perfectly still. Nora took a slow step back toward the mirror. The reflection didn't move to match her. Instead, it tilted its head slightly, a movement Nora hadn't made. Her chest tightened. Okay, this is just a delay," she said, trying to rationalize it. Like a glitch or something." She waved her hand. Nothing. No response. The reflection stayed frozen in its original position. Then, without warning, it stepped forward, one slow step, toward the mirror. Nora stopped back instantly. "No!" But the reflection continued. Another step, closer now, matching her movements, but in reverse, like it was walking out of a recording while she was trying to stay out of it. The surface of the mirror rippled slightly, not like glass, like water. Nora's breathing became uneven. She grabbed her phone from the bedside table and aimed the camera at the mirror. "If this is real, it'll show up," she muttered. On her phone screen, the mirror looked normal, perfectly synced, reflection matching her movements exactly, no delay, no second version. Nora lowered the phone slowly, looked back at the mirror directly, and the other version of her was now right up against the glass, close enough that she could see details, her own face, but different, calm, focused, not scared at all. The reflection lifted its hand and placed it flat against the inside of the mirror, exactly where Nora's hand would be if she touched it. Nora didn't move. Her heart was pounding too hard. Then the reflection spoke, not through the room, not through any device, but visibly. Its lips moved, and Nora somehow heard it anyway. "You're slightly behind." Nora's mind struggled to catch up with what she had just seen. The reflection hadn't just moved differently, it had spoken, and somehow she had heard it without a sound. Her throat felt dry. "What do you mean, behind?" she whispered. For a moment, nothing happened. The reflection stayed still, its hand pressed against the inside of the glass. Then, it smiled. Not wide, not unnatural, just certain. And slowly, it stepped back. This time, Nora didn't move. She forced herself to stay exactly where she was, to test it, to understand it. The reflection walked back toward the center of the room, but not like a mirror image. It moved like a person walking freely in a space that looked like her room, but wasn't bound to her. It turned slightly, looking at something off to the side, something Nora couldn't see. Then the mirror flickered, just once, and for a split second, the room inside the mirror wasn't her bedroom anymore. The layout was the same, but cleaner, brighter, perfect, like an improved version. Nora blinked hard, and it was gone. Back to normal, back to her dim, slightly messy room. Her reflection was now facing sideways, like it had just finished checking something. Then the mirror version of her spoke again. "You haven't noticed the delay yet." Nora shook her head slowly. "What delay?" The reflection raised one finger, not pointing at her, pointing at the space between them. And suddenly, the room around Nora felt off. Subtle, but wrong. The air felt thicker. The distance between her and the mirror felt longer than it should be, like the room had stretched by a fraction of a second. She took a step forward, and this time the reflection didn't react immediately. It paused, then followed, a tiny delay, barely noticeable but real. Nora's stomach dropped. No. The reflection nodded slowly. Yes. Her pulse started racing again. That means, the reflection finished her sentence, "You're not leading anymore." The lights in her room flickered, longer this time, and when they stabilized, Nora realized something terrifying. The reflection was now moving before she did. Small movements, subtle shifts, breathing, blinking, all happening just a fraction of a second earlier, like it had moved ahead of her timeline. Nora whispered, "Stop!" But the reflection stepped forward again, closer to the mirror, closer to her, and softly mouthed, "Catch up." Nora stepped back instinctively, but the moment she moved, the reflection didn't just follow, it arrived first. She froze. Her brain struggled to process it. Every movement she made in real life was now happening a fraction earlier inside the mirror, like the glass was no longer copying her. It was predicting her, or worse, replacing her timing. The reflection tilted its head again. Calm, patient. "You're noticing it now," it said softly. Nora shook her head, trying to steady her breathing. "No, mirrors don't work like this. This is impossible." The reflection's expression didn't change. "That's why you trusted me." A pause. Then, the reflection walked toward the mirror again. But this time, Nora didn't move at all. She refused. She stood perfectly still, proving it wrong. But the reflection didn't stop. It kept walking. And in the mirror, Nora saw something terrifying. Even though she wasn't moving, the reflection was getting closer anyway, like it didn't need her permission anymore, like it had already decided the distance between them. Nora whispered, "What are you doing to me?" The reflection stopped right in front of the glass, so close now that their faces aligned perfectly, and then it said something that made her stomach drop. "I'm not copying you. I'm completing you." The mirror surface flickered again, harder this time. A sharp distortion rippled through it like a broken signal. For a split second, Nora saw another version of her reflection behind the current one, standing in the same room, but not looking at the mirror, looking at the door, like she was preparing to leave. Nora stumbled back. What was that? The light inside the mirror kept growing brighter, too bright for a bedroom at night. Nora backed away, but her body didn't feel fully under her control anymore. Small movements were happening before she decided them. A blink she hadn't fully chosen, a step she hadn't fully approved. Her reflection watched it all calmly, like it was training her. "You feel it now," it said softly. Nora's voice shook. "Feel what?" The reflection raised a finger again, not pointing at her, but pointing through her, at something behind her in real space. Nora didn't want to turn, but her body did it slightly anyway, just enough to notice. The mirror's light was spilling into the room now, not just reflecting, expanding, like the glass was no longer a surface, but a source. The reflection spoke again. "You think you're looking at me." A pause. "But I've been looking at you longer." Nora turned back to the mirror quickly. The reflection was closer again, impossibly close. And now the room inside the mirror didn't match hers at all. The bed was different. The walls looked cleaner. The lighting felt newer, like a version of her life that had been corrected. Nora whispered, "Why are you changing it?" The reflection tilted its head. "Because yours is inefficient." Her stomach dropped. "That doesn't make any sense." The reflection stepped forward again, and this time, the glass didn't act like glass. It reacted like water. A soft ripple spread outward from where its hand touched the surface. Then, a faint sound echoed in Nora's real room, like something tapping from inside the mirror, inside the wall. Nora froze. "No, no, no." The reflection's voice softened. "You keep calling it a mirror." Another ripple. "But it's just the first layer." The mirror suddenly showed something new. A timeline. Not images, moments. Nora standing up. Nora turning. Nora walking toward the mirror. All slightly out of order. And one version, Nora already stepping forward, into the glass. Her breath stopped. "That's not real." The reflection smiled. "It is when it happens first." The light burst stronger, and the reflection placed its palm fully against the mirror. Nora felt it, not visually, physically, a warm pressure against her own chest, like the glass had reached through her space without breaking. Her body trembled, and the reflection whispered the final line of this stage. "You're only the delay between decisions." The mirror rippled again, and Nora's hand lifted toward it, without her asking it to. Nora's hand hovered in the air, not fully hers anymore. It trembled like it was waiting for permission from something else. She stared at it in horror. "No, stop! Stop doing that!" she whispered. But her voice felt late, like even her words were arriving after they were meant to. The reflection in the mirror didn't move. It just watched her, patient, certain. Then it spoke softly. "You're trying to stop what already chose you." Nora forced herself to step back, hard. This time she felt resistance, like walking through thick water, but she still moved. One step, then another. The reflection didn't follow immediately. For the first time, it paused and smiled. That smile made Nora's stomach drop, because it wasn't confusion, it was approval. On the mirror's surface, the light dimmed for a second, then sharpened into a clean, glassy clarity, and Nora saw it. Not her reflection anymore, but a recording of her room, from slightly ahead in time. She saw herself standing exactly where she was, stepping back, conflicted, then freezing again, like the mirror already knew every choice she was about to try. Nora whispered, "You're not reacting, you're waiting." The reflection nodded slowly. "Yes." A pause. "Because you always arrive after me." The air in the room shifted, heavier, final. The mirror began to hum faintly, like electricity trapped inside glass. Nora's phone, lying on the bed, lit up on its own. No notification, no sound, just a blank screen turning on. And on it, a live camera view of Nora's bedroom from inside the mirror. Her breath stopped. "That's not possible." The reflection stepped closer to the glass again, now almost touching it, and whispered, "You think there are two of you." A pause. "There never were." The mirror suddenly flashed, and for a half second, Nora saw it clearly, a version of her already standing inside the mirror room, calm, still.
Hey guys, subscribe my channel for more videos.